They said the truth was buried deep in files they tried to burn. David's on the mic now, it's the people's turn. From shadow men in black to creatures in the mist, he's cracking open secrets that the government dismissed. Spooky lights above us, he's tracking every blink. Aliens, cryptids, yeah, he's making you think. With a journal full of clues and a wild-eyed hunch, he's talking ghost towns, lost time, Bigfoot's lunch. Old Dayvid don't know, but he's looking for the code on a long dark road where the weird ones go. Mics stay hot when the stories unfold, digging through the static for the truth untold. From pyramids on Mars to sounds in the night, he's chasing after whispers just beyond the light. Tinfoil hat, nah, it's a crown for the bold. Turn the dial up, these tales don't grow old.
Hey, it's David from Down the Rabbit Hole, and you're listening to Dayvid Don't Know. All right, man, I got a good one today. We got Bigfoot in the house. We got Dogman in the house. That's right, Rod Nichols. Interviewing Rod Nichols from Bexar County Bigfoot on Instagram. Guys, go check him out. Give him a follow. But it's spooky story time. This one comes from a working man, rideshare rider. I picked him up and was taking him home, and he had a story to tell. So this is out. This happened out in Harlingen. This is South Texas. This is pretty close to Mexico. So here's the story. They were down there on vacation. Him and his dad, they worked together. So they had a house they had to go work on. They were working on a bathroom. It's a plumbing job. So they're both in there. Everything was normal. He's doing he told me he was doing I forgot what it's called. Like he was inspecting basically everything. His dad was coming in, and then his dad started yelling at him, and he was like, what's going on? And he says, you opened all the cabinets in the kitchen. Why did you do that? And so they got into it, and he's like, I didn't open any cabinets, Dad. So they all closed them all up. They went to the bathroom looking at it, and then they decided to go have lunch. So they left, they locked the door, everything was fine. Come back from lunch, walked into the house, all the cabinets in the bathroom and in the kitchen were open. All the cabinets. So they knew right then and there was a problem. They contacted the homeowner, who told a very interesting story. The homeowner was renting that house. Turns out the man who lived there died. He was an older man, and he was a very angry man, apparently. Very angry man. But he was renting. My bad. He didn't know. He was renting that house, and he asked the owner if he could do hospice there. He didn't want to leave his house. He didn't want to leave. And according to the guy telling me the story, he didn't want to die. And the owner basically said she believes he's still there because the doors will slam, this will open, the TV will turn on and just be full blast loud. And basically the owner was like, I can't rent this house. There's no way I could rent this house. So the plumbers left, and they never came back. So this poor old man asked for a little backstory on this, and apparently he said that the neighbor that lived next door was kind of like an angry lady. So they would often get into arguments and fights and what have you. So the owner actually sold the house to that lady who lived next door, and she called the owner and said, hey man, there's some weird stuff going on in this house. I don't understand. Well, the dude who lives there now, the man who passed, he don't like you. But the owner didn't say any of this stuff. But basically that guy did not. They would always fight, apparently, over a tree and other things. but they were always yelling at each other outside. Angry people. They were just angry. And this lady who lived next door and fought with this old man thought she was getting, I guess, one up on him by buying the house that he rented. And, well, she got more than she bargained for. All right, guys, that's the story. Let's get on with it. Hey, everybody, it's David from Down the Rabbit Hole, and you're listening to Dayvid Don't Know. So, guys, today I want to talk about Bigfoot. Do y'all know Bigfoot? I'll say this. I had a, and I don't know if Rod follows me on this, but I have a channel on Down the Rabbit Hole, and I asked, what do you believe in, was basically the poll, right? And I swear to God, I put like 20 things out there. I even put your mom. And number one surprised me. Number one was alternate realities. I was like, wow, everyone believes in alternate. There's like 300 people plus selected that. Number two, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now I can't remember what it was. Number three was ghosts. So it was like alternate realities, something of equal value, and then ghosts. And then all the way at the bottom, this shocked me, Bigfoot. Not at the very bottom, but close to the bottom. And I was like, wow. So that kind of got me interested in talking to Bigfoot. And I found someone out here in the San Antonio area by the name of Rod Nichols. And he runs Bexar County Bigfoot. And I am so excited to talk to him today, because I actually believe that Bigfoot does exist. I don't know about you guys, but we're going to find out today. So please welcome Rod Nichols, everybody, to the stage. Yeah. Rod, how's it going, my friend?
What's up, man? How are you doing? Doing all right?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for joining me. We actually have been following each other for a long time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm a fan of what you do, bro. I'm a fan of what you do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I did a show with Drewski, Cryptid Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
I was on his show. I talked about Project Bluebeam, and we went through the whole thing. And then, you know, how podcasters, they get off and then they start talking off record. And he was like, hey, man, do you know Rod Nichols? And I was like, huh? Who's that? He goes, he's Bexar County Bigfoot. And I was like, no, I don't. He goes, dude, he lives in San Antonio. You should look him up. Talk to him. Yeah, he's right there in your corner of the woods, bro. I was like, okay, I'll look it up. And I went and I found you and I followed you. And I noticed that you were following me. And I was like, what the hell? This is awesome, man. And I meant to reach out to you, and life got in the way, bro.
It happens. Life gets in the way a lot, but we find a way to do, and we find a way to execute the passion that we have for what we do, you know. So
absolutely, yeah. And it happened. It just so happened recently. I saw your name. I don't know if you had made a comment in something, or if you. I just happened to see your name, and I was like, wait a minute. I remember this guy. I need to reach out to him, and that's when I reached out and wanted to see if you would be on the show.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
I don't know if you heard or if you follow, because I have in my Down the Rabbit Hole, there's a channel that is like people can join, and I'll ask polls in there, and I'll do all this kind of stuff, or I'll put like exclusive stuff, or I'll put like a merch giveaway, whatever. And I made this whole thing, and I swear to God, dude, when I was putting things like ghosts. Do you believe in demons? Do you believe in me? Do you believe in you? I was like going crazy on it.
Right.
Put Bigfoot in there. And I was shocked that it came out not at the end, but kind of close to the end, dude. I was like, whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
And it doesn't sound right to me. Does that sound right to you?
Well, I think there are a lot of things in this world that I guess take precedence over others. I mean, paranormal is pretty big. UFOs usually kind of take over the whole cryptid thing or whatever, and it's understandable. I mean, it's a phenomenon that we've seen and we've recorded, and even the government has talked about that, whatever that means. But I mean, I can see it. But cryptids kind of take almost a backseat sometimes. But here's the funny part about it is that I think there's been so many sightings and Class A sightings and Class B sightings
Yeah,
of this cryptid in our own homeland. Thousands of them, right? And
yeah,
so,
right.
we've got so much evidence, I think, on camera, and I've talked to people that have DNA or whatever, or what
Hmm.
they believe is to be a Sasquatch. I'm not going to say it is, but so the funny part about my whole point about this is that we can believe that there's something up in the sky that's floating around and doing all this crazy stuff, but yet when it comes to being a physical creature that could
Hmm.
live in our unknown forests, we're like, maybe, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
it's kind of funny that it happens like that, but
it's
yeah,
weird.
it is. Yeah, it
I
is
think
what
a
it
lot
is,
of
right?
people live in the cities, right? If you look at the bigger cities
Mhm.
in America that has huge populations, a lot of these
Mhm.
people that go out in the woods, a lot of these people,
Mhm.
so
Right.
I mean, you have your woods people, your people who love to go, like my buddy Papa Joe from Tales, Trails, and Taverns. He goes out
Mhm.
and hikes all the time, and so you have a lot of these people, but I think there's a huge swath of Americans, a huge swath of people in this country that just they don't want to go to the woods. I used to want to
Sure.
go when I was a kid. I used to love that.
Yeah.
I don't anymore. I do not like the heat. Your boy
Mhm.
needs electricity. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe in this thing. Um,
Yeah.
there's just too much evidence. Like
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I'll say that I don't know for sure. But when you come
Right.
across large footprints that are ridiculously large, and you see strides of like 6 feet in
Right.
these foot, it's just nuts, man. How is that possible? It looks like a giant human foot. You know what I'm saying? You got
Mhm.
hair everywhere. You got wood structures, which I noticed on your
Mhm.
Instagram, Bear County
Mhm.
Bigfoot. You cover that. You cover a lot of wood structures, and I found that
Mhm.
really interesting because when you have
Mhm.
video of this stuff, so if you want to check out the
Mhm.
video, go to Bear County Bigfoot, and Bear spelled Bexar. That's how we spell
Mhm.
our county out here. And
Mhm.
follow Rod and check out the videos he has. He's a lot of videos of the most amazing, like put together. I was like, the first thing I thought of Tom Hanks when
Mhm.
he's putting together. He's in Castaway. And he's putting together like a
Oh yeah.
a shelter or something. I was like, dude, they do that.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I get a lot of pushback on because I mainly cover wood structures.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I was brought up in this whole thing. I was
Hmm.
brought up with wood structures being kind of at the forefront of the so-called or evidence or trace evidence, whatever you want to call it, right? And
Hmm.
so, like looking at it from a perspective of, well, I just passed by this thing and it's just kids and I don't even think twice about it. Well, really, let's look at this thing. Some of these
Yeah.
pieces are 8 to 10 feet tall, 12 inches around in diameter. If you're gonna tell me it's kids, these are incredibly strong kids that are
Yeah.
ripping them out of the ground with the root system still attached. Who does that? It's very
Exactly.
odd
Yeah.
behavior for a human. Why?
Yeah.
So, and then understanding that this type of activity or this alleged evidence is attributed to cryptid activity. And I say cryptid because some people have seen these things on their property, rural properties that
Hmm.
mainly butt up against a big piece of land that's whether it's a national park or a big wooded area with the creek, river, or whatever.
Hmm.
And they'll say, well, I saw this weird wood structure thing or TP or wigwam or something weird on my property, and then oh man, I see the cryptid coming out. It's either a dogman or it's a Sasquatch that they see shortly after, seeing this wood structure. So these
Yeah.
things are tied together. They are tied together. So that's kind of how it started for me, more or less, is just, wood structures being at the forefront of things. And I have to tell you this, I was not anybody that was um I wasn't closed off to Sasquatch. I
Mm,
loved the Patterson Gimlin film. The Freeman footage was awesome. I mean, I
yeah,
knew about these things, the Loch Ness monster, all of this stuff as a kid. I was that kid at the book fair that was buying these books, and
yeah.
people making fun of me because I'm buying these books. But I knew that there was something more out there in our forests that were undiscovered. I knew that, and so you know, being ignorant to the subject in that way, I just thought maybe it was just one out there in Northern California, and that's where they found it. They videoed it, and that was it. But surely they cannot exist here in Texas or anywhere else where I live. That just doesn't happen. And lo and
Hmm.
behold, we've got a database of
Yeah.
Class A, Class B, Class C, sightings and encounters. So
Wow.
it seemed to me that we've there's something out there, and we're not the kings of the forest. We're not the alpha predator as we think we are. We really aren't.
Yeah. And honestly, I thought about that these past couple of days because I recognized the places you were going to,
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a minute, is it? Are there sightings here? That's the first thing I thought of. What in San
right,
Antonio, man?
right,
Shocked me that could that be Bigfoot
right.
is here in San Antonio. So I was a little unnerved by that fact, or
I
maybe it's
am.
not a fact. I don't know, but
I am too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it unnerved me, man. That close? Wow.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. And anybody that's watching, I'm
Uh-huh.
going to tell you this. Go, if you don't believe me about these cryptids coming into suburban areas, go do your research. Don't believe me.
Yeah.
Don't believe what I say.
Yeah.
Do the research for yourself and find
Exactly.
out. Because I think you'll find, if you listen to some of these reputable podcasts that are dedicated to that cryptid,
Uh-huh.
you will have people that have had sightings of these creatures in suburban areas, and
Mhm.
it can happen. Now, here's what I'll tell you: it has to be the right situation. Obviously, the lay of the land has to make sense, and what I mean by that is there's either a creek, a river, or a greenway involved, meaning there is passage in and out of that area, safe passage,
Okay.
right? The habitat has to support big game, and big game here is going to be white-tailed deer, right? We don't have
Right.
bears. We have the usual suspects: raccoons, possums,
Yeah.
foxes, coyotes. But white-tailed deer are the commodity, I think, in
Yeah.
this particular situation. Now, we do have a very prominent creek, and you know this, the Salado Creek, which is very historical
Yeah.
creek. It's seen battle. Native Americans have used it to go in and out of San Antonio. So this
Mhm.
is a highway, and then there is water sources on the way from the northern part of Salado Creek all the way down to one of the most southern parts of Salado Creek, which is out there by well, at least the south as I've gone, which is out there by Pecan Valley. Uh, there
Mhm.
is where it's fresh water. The Salado Creek actually produces fresh spring water with largemouth bass, crayfish, freshwater clams. I've seen all this stuff. So
Mhm.
when you look at it from that topography and go, okay, for the most northern part, it's butted up against a very well-known military base, which is Camp Bullis, right? And then
Yeah.
that area has a huge, vast forested area, thick. Okay, so there you've got an area where they could probably get into, right? But also going down south from that most northern part, there is the Edwards Underground Aquifer Recharge Zone, right? So
Right.
that
Right.
tells
Right.
me that there's access to underground caverns. And by the way, San Antonio sits on a ton of underground caverns. Some we
True.
may not even know about. So again, what I'm telling you, it makes sense. It makes sense. So now, do I believe that this activity is done during the day? No, it's not, because I probably would have run into these things or something out there during the day, because I'm out there at morning, noon, sometimes in the evening. At night, I will tell you this: it is not your world anymore. It is
Mhm.
not your world anymore. You are probably looked at more as prey than predator out there, and it is very scary. It's a very different feeling out there at night. I would say 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not your world. So again, but I do believe some of this stuff is all done at night. I do believe this activity is done at night, and they're
Uh-huh.
using this Salado Creek as safe passage.
Interesting. Interesting. Do you think we could attribute people who are missing, people who never show up again, as victims to Bigfoot, possibly?
I think it's very possible. Absolutely. If you look at the David Paulides stuff, right, the missing
Yeah.
411,
Mhm.
and the map that is, or at least the map that's floating around, and I don't know how viable it is, but it would make sense to me if this is absolute truth, that some of these missing people are lined up with some of these wilderness parks and state parks. That makes sense. And
Yeah.
then when you line up these missing people with these wilderness parks with sightings of these cryptids,
Yeah.
it takes a whole new dimension there.
Yeah.
So I do believe that this can happen. I do believe it has happened. And understanding the history of Sasquatch itself, going to the Native Americans,
Man.
certain tribes have gone to war with these things. I've heard of these stories of some of these creatures coming into their camps and stealing their women and their children. You
Yeah.
know, and then here's the interesting part: when you hear somebody talk about their encounter, and they see the face of the creature and they go, it looked Native American, then that makes you
Mm.
go back to go, and they stole women for what? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't know this for a fact, but it just kind of all lines up to me. So
Yeah.
but I do believe, to answer your question, yeah, I do believe it can. They can and have kidnapped people camping or what have you, out in any of those areas.
Right. And thank you for bringing up the history, because that was the next thing I was going to talk to you about. There are Native American tribes all across this land that have stories of Sasquatch. As a matter of fact, isn't that where Sasquatch comes from? Didn't they call it Sasquatch? Right.
Right, I believe that's
And so,
that's a Canadian name from the
yeah.
First Nations people up in Canada. I can't remember, and forgive me, I can't remember what province it is, but that I believe that might be a Canadian name. But yeah,
Yeah.
and exactly, the Sasquatch does come from First Nations or Native American people. Absolutely.
So they've been dealing with this for forever, man. And I
Yeah.
I even there's a little theory out there that I kind of find humorous, that because
Mhm.
I don't have enough information on this. But if you go all the way back to
Mhm.
the first actual men who were, not modern men, but you go back to the
Sure.
first, and then there's, I don't know if you ever heard of who the Anunnaki are, but they're supposed to be a
Sure.
alien race that came here.
Yeah.
Apparently, in this theory that I cannot verify, that they took the people here and saw
Hmm.
they were not intelligent, they were not organized, they were just scattered, running around, hunters gatherers types, and they
Right.
they took their DNA and they spliced it into these men and
Hmm.
advanced them, like totally,
Hmm.
you know evolved them into something that they could use to mine
Hmm.
for them, to work for them, like, kind of like slaves, right?
Hmm.
And one of the theories is that other people they left were Bigfoot, were Sasquatch.
Hmm.
And so that's why they're still around, because they came from back
Hmm.
then, before, and they are very closely aligned with us. I don't know about
Hmm.
that, man.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah.
do believe, if there is such a thing as Bigfoot and it's
Hmm.
lived this long, it could go all the way back to that time. It could have been around back then. And so,
Yeah.
but you know what? Let me ask you this, because this is a question I ask every Bigfoot guy, because it really irritates the shit out of me that we're here in 2026. We have the best technology. I mean, we're advanced, man. We got drones. We got heat rays, and not heat rays, but like you can aim a thermal camera, and you can see, how come we have not caught a Bigfoot, bro? Please tell me, why have we not in 2026 caught a Bigfoot?
Like physically have one?
Physically capture this dude.
Okay. I mean, who's to say that we don't? Maybe there's people that haven't come forward. And this is what I found. There are lots of people out there that probably have some of the best evidence ever. But for fear of ridicule, and because maybe they're professionals, they do not come forward with this stuff. So there's that. There's one thing right there, okay? The other is I fully believe that the government has full knowledge of these things, obviously, and I do believe they have specimens. I do believe that. You can't tell me that they don't, because I believe that they do. So there's that. The other part of it is this. I've heard of people shooting at these things with some high power rifles, 270s, 30-30s, and all it did was just piss them off. So if that's the case, then we're talking high muscle density and high bone density. Okay. So it may take an elephant gun to drop one of these things. And I don't know very many people that have that type of a gun, right? Or you can drop one, but it would take a really good shot through the eye to go into the brain to kill to drop one of these things. So I believe that there are people out there that have probably shot and dropped one of these things, and before anything could happen, there may be an agency that's called, and they come and pick up that specimen. That person is silenced and said, "Hey, if you speak about this, we will ruin your life and your family's life." And there it is, none. So I mean, I don't think it's how come we've never. It's how come it hasn't come out type of thing, I think.
So why would the government want to hide that from us? Why would they? What do they gain from something like this?
They absolutely, I don't think they gain really anything other than knowledge of these creatures being out there. But also what happens is that they come out with this stuff. Think about it, mass hysteria. These national parks are going to go broke, as they're probably already going broke anyway, with some of the government things going on, right?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Right. So thinking about this, now you've got park rangers, that you've got all these guys that are out there, and people have general knowledge. Let's say they release this, that yes, these things are real, they're out there. Oh man, can you imagine? Can you imagine some of these people that are just driven by fear and craziness, get out there with guns, trying to kill one of these things and accidentally shoot a kid or a hiker? It would be terrible. So I think there's kind of an understanding that yes, these things do exist. They may not come out with it and say it because it could cause a lot of hurt in our society. And society as it is right now is hanging by a thread. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Yes.
So again, throw that on there, and guess what? You've got people out there with guns that would probably get out there and try and shoot these things or hunt these things or think they're doing the world some good, and they're not. They're absolutely not. They're only hurting themselves, and they can possibly kill or hurt somebody else, So I think that's probably the reason why we don't see it, We don't hear about, we probably won't hear about the government coming out and saying these things. And if they do, I hate to say it, but it probably won't happen in our lifetime. I don't think it will. So,
I could say that's what Drewski said, exactly, almost word for word. I think y'all agree on that. And at the time I was like, oh, he's got a point. And now, and that was before disclosure, really. And now I don't know that I feel like, if you think about, dude, there are guys with guns every corner, especially in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
and,
Sure.
and they're guys thinking they're helping people and they're hurting people. I think
Sure.
we have so much craziness going on right now. This would not change much, but what you say could happen. Like people might go out there with an elephant gun and kill people by accident. I believe that 100%.
Right.
But you know what shocked me is that if you look at disclosure from the government about, they're actually coming out and saying, yes, these things are real. Yes, we don't know what they're. Yes, this is what's going on, and the public has responded with, which is strange to me, dude.
Right.
I was shocked by this. I thought we were going to lose it. People were going to be
Mm.
running in the streets. They're aliens, but no one has even budged.
Yeah.
So I think we're ready for it. I think we're ready for Bigfoot disclosure, man. Bring it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting you say that. Are we ready, or have we been conditioned to?
Oh yeah, conditioned.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Think about when you were young. There was UFO movies and alien movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. What was it? What was it? Encounter? What's that movie? That famous UFO movie?
Oh, Encounters of the Third Kind.
Third Kind. Right.
Loved it.
Right.
Loved
Right.
it.
Brilliant movie. Right.
Terrified me.
I kind of believe that we've been slowly conditioned, and then desensitized with violence and things of that nature. So then when it comes out, it's like, what? No big deal. But on the flip side of that, I will say this: when I tell people that I research Sasquatch and I get out in the field, it's more well received now than if I probably said it maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Dude, can you imagine saying that in the 80s and 90s, bro?
Oh, you'd yeah.
They laugh us out of the city.
The typical Sasquatch witness was, this guy out in the woods that's drunk and high or whatever, and missing teeth, and they portrayed us as being out of our minds. But little did we know, we had guys like Renee DeHenden, we had John Green, we had some guys that had some clout as businessmen, as scientists, that were actually out there, doing researching these things. And I found it very interesting that in the midst of all that, we had the guys that were really doing it, and doing it well. And so society wasn't really ready for it, obviously, but now when I talk about it, like I say, it's a lot more well received. And I will say this: there's more intelligent questions asked than there is like, Bigfoot, big hairy, blah blah blah. It's like, whatever. Like, I don't have time for that. But people are like, hey, well, what do you think it is? Or what is your what do you do? And and man, that's cool. I love it, man, because I want to have a good conversation, with people about this.
It's very fascinating. I think this is ever since that one film you mentioned, the Patterson Gimli, am I saying that right? Film?
Yep. Patterson Gimli film. Yep.
I remember seeing that back then and being amazed. I mean, amazed, but it was shot down back then as a joke. It was like, oh, it's a suit, it's a this and that. But if you look at the film, and I just recently in the past 5 years saw like a more in-depth look at that film. And first of all, it's female.
Yes, you can see the breasts.
It has breasts, man. And I don't know, do we know if these dudes have like male male breasts, you know what I'm saying? Because we see some guys around the corner, bro, especially here.
Question. Good question.
But I mean, I really, now when I look at it, because the first time you look at it, you're like, what is this? It looks like an ape. I don't know what this is. What is it? It looks human. And now I can see that, it's a female, man. Not only that, the strides, the knees don't straighten.
Right.
It's walking with, it never straightens like a normal human will straighten out its leg to walk.
Right.
It didn't do that, bro.
No. The angle of that bottom portion where the calf is It's
Yeah,
not like our gate at all. It's nothing like our gate.
it's amazing to me. You know, not being an expert
Mm-hmm.
and looking at that video, I think that's real. I think that one's real. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's the best evidence we have. You know, and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen all the evidence, but
Mm-hmm.
I truly think that those dudes caught something that day,
Right.
and lack of a better explanation, it's Bigfoot,
Yeah.
right?
It's a
So,
female, from what I understand. Given the anatomy, I think
mhm.
people have gone a step further and have seen muscle movement
Yes,
underneath
dude.
the hair.
Yes, yes.
Um, One guy that I follow who he's God, he's very he's in photography, and I think
Hmm.
he did some stuff for NASA as well, photography wise. So he knows a lot of what's fake and what isn't. He was able to zoom in on part of her thigh. I think it's the
Yeah.
right thigh, and he saw some type of scarring in
Ugh.
the muscle of the thigh. So when
Wow.
she tensed up, that muscle balls up like a little ball,
Uh huh.
like it's hemorrhaged, or like it's scar tissue. And you
Yeah.
could only get that as if you've been injured or you've been shot by a bullet.
Shoot.
And he zoomed in on that. He said, look at that. Like, you can't, you won't get that with a suit. That's not a
Yeah.
suit. And I'm like, dude, that. I was done. Like, I was, yeah, that's it. Like, I mean, I'm good
Yeah.
with that,
It.
so.
Yeah. Sure. I mean that you can go online right now. You can go to YouTube right now and look it up. And there's several videos out there that'll examine it frame by frame and give you the details of what you're looking at. And it is compelling, man. It's compelling evidence.
Sure.
And yeah,
I
down
believe it
to the
is.
muscle.
Right.
I was like, wow, dude. And she
Down to the
looks
muscle.
back. She looks back at him, dude.
Yep.
That when that happened when I saw it for the first time, I was like, whoa, that is crazy. She's
Yeah.
making sure they're not following her A or have a
Right.
weapon B, and she's
Right.
safe to continue. I was like, wow, that film is the
Hmm.
best piece of Bigfoot evidence I think I've ever seen.
I think it's the best piece of evidence that we have, but there are others among it
Mhm.
that are absolutely compelling. A friend of mine, Michael Freeman, released a book called The Freeman Files, and his dad, Paul Freeman, has the Freeman Files, some of the footage that he's taken up there in, gosh, I want to say it's, he was working up in Oregon and Washington State. Forgive me if I can't remember, but he's got some really good footage. In fact, some of the castings that were done and some of the footprints that were examined by, uh, 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 rest in peace, as Doctor. Gosh, he was a well-known scientist.
The one that passed
That
away just recently?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't believe I my gosh. So they were examined by this scientist, and given like a, hey, yeah, this is legitimate. This is a legitimate footprint, and some of it has dermal ridging. In fact, Michael sent me some of the duplicate castings from his dad's prints that I have, and some of
Mhm.
them, one of them has dermal ridging on it. Has
Oh,
dermal ridging on it.
wow.
Dr. Jeff Meldrum. Dr. Jeff
Yeah,
Meldrum.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yes.
Rest in peace, Dr. Jeff Meldrum. He
Yeah,
he he was a pioneer, and I believe that his legacy will live on. I hope somebody picks up, takes the torch, man, because
right.
that was a legitimate scientist that was a believer, that really saw a lot of different casts, a lot of different evidence, and man, I mean, amazing stuff. But so yeah, so Paul Freeman, the Freeman Files, that's another one that I would say is kind of not necessarily exactly like Patty, but man, it's so convincing to me as well. So you've got a lot of stuff, and like I said before to my previous point, I bet you have people out there that have this smoking gun, but
Mhm.
refuse to come forward because there's probably a lot at stake for that person. you know, maybe they're afraid of being ridiculed. You know, in some cases, some of these people have been that have had an encounter with these things. They've been met by the men in black and said, "Hey, look, what you saw was a bear." No, no, I know what I
Yeah.
saw. It wasn't. You saw a bear, and if you don't say it's a bear, I will erase you. We can erase you. You know that.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa, it was a bear." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got people out there like that really have seen these things up close and got within an inch of their life because these things were probably going to kill them and live to tell the tale, and then they're silenced. You know,
Yeah.
so I fully believe that too.
Yeah. Men in Black, Bigfoot edition, right? Those guys
Yeah,
have their own
yeah,
man. You know, I wanted to ask you also is Dogman.
yeah.
So to me, you know, cryptids to me, my favorite cryptid obviously is Bigfoot. That's my favorite cryptid.
Hmm.
And then I started to look into this years ago. Okay, well, Chupacabra, there's Wendigo,
Hmm.
Skinwalker. But then I
Hmm.
saw, dude, there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these cryptids. Hundreds of them, man.
Yeah.
Like in state after state after state, things I've
Mm.
never heard of, names I've never heard of. It's just
The
insane.
Mothman, the
Mothman is
Mothman,
interesting. Yeah, it's a
the
famous
the
one.
the Gugwe, uh, the Rougarou in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
What?
got yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm
So
serious. That's a real. I mean, I'm not pronouncing it right, but I mean,
it sounds good to me because I'm like, what? So
my
the
Cajun is
Dogman.
a little off. So, but
Dogman to me, now it's not been a long it has not been around as long as Bigfoot, Dogman.
well, at least some of the sightings and documentation have come out more recent than anything else. You're right.
Right. So it to me, it's like, okay, this is a new one to
Hmm.
me. Like,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of reported cases. There have been bodies
Hmm.
attributed to Dogman, like people, a whole family in a camping site apparently was
Hmm.
attacked by some animal that was larger than and had claws that were
Hmm.
razor sharp and destroyed
Hmm.
this family, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Um, recently I saw a video because that's all I do all day long is post videos. That's all I do.
Hmm.
I found one where a man was driving. Supposedly he was being chased by a dog man, and it
Hmm.
was keeping up with him. And when he got to wherever he got, and he was like a park ranger or something, had like
Hmm.
a government truck or some kind. When he got to where he got, the truck had these long claw marks scraped all across the damn
Hmm.
thing, man. And how do you
Yeah.
explain that shit? That's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
What are your
you
thoughts
know.
on Dogman, dude?
So I will say this. I'm actually in one of the first Dogman books that came out
Nice.
from Small Town Monsters. I don't know if you know
Okay, okay, yeah.
Small Town Monsters Publishing. My friend Aaron Dees, who it'd be great for you to get him on as well.
Yeah.
He's a content creator for Small Town Mon. He lives here in San Antonio as well,
No
and
shit. Awesome.
the first I want to say the first book that Small Town Monsters Publishing put out was the Texas Dogman Triangle, Werewolves in Texas, and I can't believe it, and I'm so honored, dude. And I say this because I really don't deserve this type of notoriety. But he put like I think there's like 3 pages of me, about me in that book, which is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm happy just to have a paragraph. I really am,
Yeah.
or whatever. But man, he was anyway.
Can I say before you continue, can I say something?
Yeah, yeah.
You deserve it,
Oh,
Rod. You
oh, thank
deserve
you,
it. Don't
thank you,
ever say, a lot of us have this thing where we like, oh, I don't deserve this or I shouldn't be. You deserve it, bro. You deserve it.
thank you,
Tell yourself
thank
that.
you, thank
Try
you.
to
Yeah,
understand that you
appreciate that.
do you deserve more than 3 pages, brother. Okay? Keep that in
Thank
your
you.
head
I
because
appreciate that.
it's something that I used to do.
Yeah.
And when I meet people that I know are worthy and say that I just cannot, I have to stop it right where it's
Mm,
at and tell you, you deserve it, bro. You honestly,
thank
you
you.
are worthy of it. and try not to think that way, because honestly, you're the
Thank
man.
you.
You're the man,
I,
Rod. Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. No, thank you. That means a lot. So one of the reasons why I'm one of the reasons I'm in that book is because I had found a print, and
Mhm.
now I'll tell you that I'll give you the backstory on this. The print that I found was lines up with some of the alleged Dogman prints that have been found that he's looked at as well from different pictures, and it was a canine looking print, uh, and I say canine because the shape of it looked round, and it was about I want to say it was about as big as my hand,
Uh-huh.
if not a little bit bigger. So I don't know any dog that, unless it's like a Tibetan Mastiff, which I find it hard to believe that maybe anybody would have one of these out here in South Central Texas. But anyway, I found this really weird print, and I snapped a picture of it, and I put my foot next to it too as well, I believe, on my boot, and I sent it to him. I was like, dude, this is odd. He's like, wait a minute. He was like, this is crazy, man. This lines up with, some of the prints that I've seen from alleged
Mhm.
dogman, encounters, things like that. So he put it in the book, and then he actually put the picture in the Dogman Triangle movie, the documentary as well.
Oh wow,
Uh,
that's awesome,
so
bro.
that's in there as well. So it was really cool. So the backstory of that was we were at a park that has a very flat open area, and then there's a little hill where you can walk on the ridge of that hill, and then over that hill downgrade there's a holler. It's a holler with a little bit of the tributaries from the Salado Creek, okay, that
Hmm.
run through it. And so me just not thinking about anything other than just wanting to hang out with my family. My wife's like, okay, turn the Bigfoot stuff off. It's family time. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna sit down in the grass and just have a good time. And me, I'm standing there just going, oh man, I'm looking around, and my wife's like, just turn it off. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
fine. So my daughter comes and she says, hey, there's these weird looking prints over here. Look at this. And
Wow.
I'm like, whatever. I'm like, kids are just, whatever. And she's like, no, no, come over here and look. I'm like, all right, I'll entertain the idea. I went over there, and sure enough, it was these prints that were, I mean, I want to say they were probably like a size 14, maybe,
God damn.
good size, and they were linear like this.
Oh
It
wow.
wasn't like us. It was
Yeah.
like that, like that.
So like a
And
dog would walk. Yeah.
it's really weird, right? So I'm sitting there and it's like, and I'm thinking, no, and in my mind, part of what I do is I try to debunk myself.
Hmm.
Okay. I don't believe that everything is Bigfoot. I don't believe that everything is Dogman. I really
Right.
don't. There's
Yeah.
perfectly rational explanations for some of this stuff.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and I'm
Good
going,
man.
that's weird. Okay. I'm looking at it, and it goes up on that ridge and down into the holler. And I look at my wife and she's like, all right, well, let's go. I said, let's go. So we follow it down into the holler, and getting
Uh-huh.
down into this holler, there were all these wood structures. I mean, there was like five of them within like 185 yards of each other. Just boom, boom, boom. Oh, I can see one over here. I can see one over here. And I'm talking teepees that were like 14, 15 foot tall, and just, I mean, just insane stuff I'd never seen in my life. I'd never seen wood structures in that close in proximity of each other. And I'm like
That's
freaking
crazy.
out, going, I can't believe this. This is weird. This is weird. Well, it's starting to get dark, right? The
Hmm.
sun is setting, so it's getting
Let's
dark.
go.
And when you're in a holler, that canopy, it gets darker, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm just like marveling at all this stuff. I'm like, I got to come back here with the camera, and I got to, I'm just thinking about all these things. And my wife and my daughter, my daughter starts getting really agitated, really, almost to the point of tears, crying almost, scared. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. I'm like, wait, hold on, chill out. Like, just calm down. no, we gotta go right now. We gotta go now. And I'm like, what? What is wrong with you? She's like, I feel like there's something staring at me or watching me, and it feels ugly. We need to go. I don't know where
Hmm.
it's at, but something is staring at me. That's what she said. She thought something
Yeah.
was looking at her. And I'm like,
Interesting.
nah. I'm just like, whatever. And then she starts crying a little bit. And I'm like, okay, we got to go. And
Yeah.
on the way out, I find that print, that one print, and I snap it twice. Boom, boom. And then we're out. And lo and behold, it ended up making it in that book and then in the movie as well.
That's
Uh,
freaking awesome, bro. I
yeah,
have a
it's
print I
crazy,
want to
right?
show you. Yeah,
Uh,
that's freaking crazy, and it's in a book and a documentary.
yeah,
That's freaking awesome, bro.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
I posted a Dogman print that
Hmm.
came out. Let's see, it was in Oklahoma in 2018. Let me show you real quick. I
Sure.
added to the stage. Oh wow!
Mm, right on, man.
What are your
Wow.
thoughts?
That to me, from seeing some of the other prints that I've seen, that looks almost close to what I saw. But the toes are a little bit are splayed out a little bit more.
Uh,
The front of the foot, the toes, looks a little bit wider than what I
mhm.
saw. But
That's a
that
big
to,
motherfucker, isn't it? It's huge.
that's a big, yeah, that's a big boy right there. That is a big boy. Wow, or girl, I don't know. Either
Yeah,
one, man.
exactly.
No, that looks crazy, man.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I posted that about a week and a half ago now. Um, I do a show with a guy named Andy Decodes. The show is
Mm-hmm.
called Alien 8 UK. It's a UK show. Do it every
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Friday. It comes out 2:30 live on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
under Andy Decodes Alien 8 UK. So we had the privilege last week of interviewing Brian Bowden, and I don't know if you're familiar with Brian
Not
Bowden, but
familiar.
he's huge Bigfoot
Mm-hmm.
Dogman guy,
Oh, okay.
and he has his own live show that he has. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be having him on this show pretty soon.
Cool.
This dude, he knows a lot. He knows a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of these what do you call them, masons, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the dude
He
is connected. The
seems.
dude knows a lot, and I was super impressed by everything he had to say. He talked a lot about Dogman. As a matter of
Mm,
fact, him and his brothers came in contact with one. He
mm,
called it a
cool.
juvenile. It wasn't a big one. It was a juvenile,
Mm, mm-hmm.
and he tells a really cool story where they wanted to get out there with him because he does a lot of the investigation, but he does it at night, bro, which is insane to me, bro.
Yeah.
You're
Listen,
asking for trouble,
doing
right?
that invest. Yeah, that's a whole different ball of wax, brother. That's a whole
So
different ball of wax, man.
his
Yeah.
brothers wanted to go with him. They're not young; they're adults, all of them. And he's
Sure.
like, "Okay, you can come with me. Let's go." And he says, "Go down this path, go over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna get the equipment, and I'll meet you out there." So they go on, and he's getting the equipment or whatever, and then he hears something. So he goes out there, and he's like, "What's the matter?" They're both frozen in fear. They're just staring. And he's like, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Look, look, look." And so he looks, and he sees two eyes staring back in like a low growl, like
Oh,
it's a young one, right? It's a young one. They're
oh
freaked out
wow.
because they've never seen anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna go back." And so they started to turn. And he's like, "No, no, no, don't turn around. Just
Right.
backwards, walk backwards. Because you turn around,
Right.
you're telling it this thing that, hey, I'm prey, chase me,
Right.
right?
Right. You're triggering that predatory response. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that."
Right. No.
And so they
And
backed
don't
out of
run.
there. He says they have since said they don't ever want to do this again. And one of his
Uh,
brothers don't even return his call.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we got my wife and I got growled at um by something, and we were investigating an area off the Salado Creek,
Mhm.
in a wilderness park, in a spot where people don't go. And again, this part
Yeah.
is where we called it Jurassic Park because the plants were overgrown. There's these cypress trees that are there that are amazing. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen San Antonio like this. And the water is clear, it's cold, it's beautiful. So we're out there and we're doing this because a gentleman reached out to me anonymously and said, "Hey, this is the roundabout area. My daughter and her two full-grown huskies were out on these paved trails in that area,
Mhm.
and mind you, there's thick woods on either side, and she's jogging with their full-grown huskies, and he said that something growled. It was like a growl and scream at the same time behind brush, and
Yeah.
shook the brush, right?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, okay." I said, "So let me ask you, what was the dog's reaction? Because that really tells me a lot." The
Yeah.
dogs peed themselves and wanted nothing to do with that thing and wanted to
Oh.
leave immediately. And I thought, okay, two full-grown huskies, that's their mom. I'm guaranteeing you, those dogs aren't going to be an easy take, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so, to me, if it was a person or an ant, they would have just stood up and, hey, protected their mom. These guys wanted nothing to do. They peed all over the place
Wow.
and wanted to take off. And the daughter got in her car, immediately called her dad, said, "Hey, something weird just growled, screamed at us, really weird, shook the brush. I didn't see it, but it was the ugliest sound." So
Wow.
he contacts me and he said, "Here's the roundabout area. I don't know the exact area. She couldn't tell me, but it's in this vicinity." Okay, great. Can you go out there? I said, "Yeah, of course. That's what we do." So I go out there, my wife and I, and we're down in this area where we're walking alongside the banks of the creek with the running water. Beautiful, beautiful spot.
Mhm.
And then where we're at, there's an upgrade, and it's probably about, I want to say maybe 15-foot tall, maybe 20, somewhere in there. I can
Mhm.
kind of see almost the top of it, and I can see these smaller trees that are back behind, off the ridge of this upgrade. And then on the other side of the creek is thick brush, really thick looking hay type of brush, and just really beautiful looking big plants. I mean, beautiful plants back there. And so we're walking on the banks of this creek, and something starts to flank us on the high side, on the high
Mhm.
ground. And when we stop, it stops. When
Oh
we start
shit.
walking, it starts walking. And when we stop, it stutters a little bit and it stops. And then it starts shaking some of the trees. I could see the little trees whipping back and forth.
Wow.
Every time it was like shaking. I would pull out my camera, my phone, to start
Mhm.
videoing, going, I gotta get this, right?
Yeah.
And when I start doing that, it would stop. It was like it was frozen. And then I put my phone away, it would start back up. And we would walk.
Wow.
It was the oddest thing. So we're being flanked here, and I thought maybe it was somebody. It sounded like on 2 feet to me. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the creek, on the other side of the banks of the creek, uh, I see this what looked like a big boulder, like about this big, that big, like this, just like nice and arced, like somebody threw it like a basketball. Woo! I just saw it just arc over into the water, whoosh, like that, and I thought,
What the hell,
who the
dude?
heck? Who is throwing rocks that big? This thing was like that, like this,
What the
and it just
hell?
threw it. And I'm like, what? That happened, and then we stopped dead in our tracks. We were like, hold on,
That would freak me
what
out.
was?
Yeah.
And we stopped and went. And I told my wife, I'm like, shh. And she looked at me, and and then all of a sudden we heard this, like this. I don't even do it justice. This thing was like it was like a gorilla crossed with a lion with like I tell people I equated it to almost like the resonance of a 808 bass hit, like on hip hop, where they, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get that, like, it resonated, and it was just guttural growl, low growl, and it felt like it was right there in front of me, but it
Holy
wasn't.
shit.
The growl felt like it was right here, and it cuts right through you, and fear instills in you like that. And I sat there, we were there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it's surreal. My wife turns around and looks at me and goes, did you effing hear that? And I'm like, yes, I did. It did it twice. And
Wow,
I
dude.
thought, this is a warning. Let's back up. So we
Yeah.
backed up slowly, slowly. And I started talking to whatever it was. Hey, man, we're okay. No harm. We're leaving. We're leaving peacefully. We're leaving. Didn't mean to disturb you. We're leaving, leaving, leaving. We leave slow, 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 slow until we're out of sight, and then we take off, get into the truck, and we're just like on the way home. It was like silence. It was like, like what just happened to us?
Yeah,
And
y'all
that,
almost ended up like those huskies, man, just peeing yourself.
dude, I almost did. I'm not even lying, bro. Like it would. I mean,
What?
so and stuff like that has happened to me once. I've had some branches break in areas where they sounded pretty significant break, like big, like a
Yeah.
baseball bat, you know what I mean, type of sound.
Right, right, right.
And I can't see it. I can't see it because it's thick. But I was like, okay, it's time for me to leave, like type of
Yeah.
thing. But this was different. This was way different, and I'll never forget that experience. And what do we do? Well, we keep on going back to that area to see what else we can grab. And nothing has happened since. But there's been some wood structures there
Yeah.
that I've documented, and I did one casting of a footprint there as well. That was
No
like,
kidding, dude.
yeah,
Nice, bro.
yeah. So
Man, you ever think about like leaving like I know it sounds kind of weird, leaving it like a beef fajita taco, bro, or something? Like an
I
offering?
thought about it. I thought about it. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Yeah,
Become
no, but
friends with it, man. You know?
invite him over for dinner. Then I can ask him the real stuff. Hey, dude, what's going on? You know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Holy crap, dude.
but I aside from that, I've taken out a DNA scientist with me to one of my
Uh-huh.
sites. In fact,
Nice.
a PhD in chemistry and DNA studies from Harvard University. He's come out with me,
Wow.
and he was dumbfounded at some of the stuff I shown him. And he's done studies on soil samples, water samples of where the person saw the creature standing. So they'll go and show him. He'll take some DNA, some, like I said, soil or water,
Right.
and I asked him. I said, hey, it comes back ape, human, and there's a strand of DNA that is unrecognizable by the DNA bank, right? He said, yes.
Wow.
He says, but it comes back mostly human and ape, but mostly human. And there's an unrecognizable strand of DNA that is not in the DNA bank. There's nothing to match it up with at all, at all. So that's
And
crazy.
these
But
are samples that you had, or am I
no, no,
mishearing
no,
that?
no, that he's taken from other sites, from other people that
Oh, I
have
got you.
called him.
Okay.
They've called him and said, hey, I saw the creature right here on my property. He'll go and he'll scoop up a soil sample or a water sample if the creature was standing in
That's
water,
freaking amazing, man.
and he'll analyze it. And he's told me that that's mostly it's ape DNA, it's human DNA, and the unrecognizable strand. But he said it's a lot of human in there, a lot of human DNA is what he said. And this guy's a published author. He's been at it for years. I mean, he's like 80 plus years old. He's just a really cool guy, man. And I was
That's
very
awesome, man.
honored to have him. And then I've taken out a wildlife biologist with me as well.
Cool.
From North Texas State, I think, North Texas University.
Yeah.
And he had no answer for me. I showed him some of the wood structures. He had no answer for me. It blew his mind. When you can stump people like that, you've got something,
Yeah.
And so this guy was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is, in fact, there was one wood structure that he walked into and he stood there and he was talking to himself and he was like, and I heard him because I'm just like looking around and stuff, and I heard him say, did humans build this? Like, he was questioning what built this, you know?
That's
And
interesting,
so
man.
when you've got people like that you've taken out with you, and there's no answer for it, I feel like I've got something, you know. And
Yeah,
lo and behold, it's in San Antonio, you know, surprise.
I
So
love that, man. I love that. That's awesome.
mm,
You know, I don't know why this is coming to my head, but you might want to consider writing a book,
mm,
Rod. You have a lot
I've
of
started.
you've
I've
started.
started.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. You
Yeah.
should. I
Thank
would
you.
want to read
Yeah.
that book, you know, because the structures
Yeah.
you showed, like you need to show pictures in that book on these structures you found because they're
Yes.
very
Dude.
interesting. And
Yeah.
anyone who says kids made this, no, I don't
No.
think so. They're at
Mm-mm.
home playing video games, bro. They're not building
Exactly.
structures.
Exactly. Listen,
Yeah.
I get what is it? Okay, so here these and all these things fall apart quickly. They do because I've got answers for them.
Mhm.
Kids, it's kids, Rod. Okay. Well, tell me a kid that can pull up a tree that big by the root system and put it together. These pieces are huge, right? They're
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
Some of them, now I will say some of them are small, and I'm not going to say that humans haven't come by these things and seen them and go, "Oh yeah, here's a little rocker." You know, it can happen. I got you. I understand that aspect of it,
right.
but in origin, I do not believe it's human. The other part of it is that well, it's homeless people, Rod. Well, the
Yeah.
homeless people here have tents. They have tarps. You know, they don't build stuff like this. They
No.
don't build
Plus,
stuff like
I
this.
mean, yeah, no, I don't see it.
And these things do not keep out the elements. It doesn't keep out rain. It doesn't keep
Right.
out wind. You know, so again, and there's no sign of cigarette butts, beer cans, a fire. There's no carbon. I've yet to see carbon around these things at all. The other part of it,
Yeah.
it's Boy Scouts and it's bushcraft. Okay, let's talk about that. When Boy Scouts or bushcraft people do this, the whole point afterwards is to act like you were never there. You got to pick up
Yeah.
everything, clean it up like you were never there. These things are still standing. It's not bushcraft. It's not Boy Scouts. You know.
Right.
So there you go. It all falls
Yeah,
apart.
man. Damn, dude. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you're writing a book. That's awesome. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait for
Yeah.
that book to come out. I have
Yeah,
another
man.
idea, and this is dumb, but I don't know
Mm,
why I came up with this. But there should
mhm.
be a cartoon where the two characters are Bigfoot and Dogman, and they're friends. I don't know
Yeah,
why that popped in my head.
dude, that'd be sweet. Like like Wonder Twin powers.
Yeah, something, anything like that would be hilarious. I don't know why my
The
brain
League of
works in
the
bizarre
League
ways.
of
But anyway,
Cryptids.
yeah, dude. Oh shit, damn, taking me back to my
Like the League of
childhood, man. I like,
Justice. Like right, like
yeah,
Right,
yes,
League of Cryptids.
I
You got
love that, dude. That's
Mothman,
awesome.
Dogman, Bigfoot. You know,
That would be awesome.
dude,
Hey,
I would buy
Rod,
that for sure.
I want to thank you, sir, for joining me
Yeah,
today. This has been a very interesting conversation. I love Bigfoot and all that stuff.
right on, dude.
I have a couple of questions I like to call the 6 questions that I ask all my guests.
Yeah, man.
And I'm glad I actually told you what they're about beforehand because the last person I
Sure.
didn't, and it
Uh-oh.
was it was a friend of mine, so it was cool. But yeah, here are the 6 questions. These are the
Mhm.
6 questions Bexar County Bigfoot style.
Sure.
Okay. Sir, number 1. What got you so into Bigfoot?
What got me into Bigfoot was at an early childhood. I always believed Leonard Nimoy's In Search Of was a big part of it.
Oh, dude,
Um,
yes.
the
Love
other
that
part of
show.
it was I binge watched a gentleman's YouTube channel from Utah who showed his evidence in the form of wood structures, and that's how I got
Wow.
started. And the last video, I binge watched all of his videos on his channel. The last video was, "Hey, if you think that I'm faking this or if this is a hoax, I'm going to show you the methodology of how I find this stuff, and then you go out and you find it yourself." And I did that the next day, and I found a
Yeah.
wood structure on the same day I went to go out and find a wood structure. So there you
God
go.
damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Also, just hit me right now the book that you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
You should put, I mean, obviously you're going to put your experience that you had, but what about that lady's
Right.
experience you were just talking about? That would be another good one.
Yes, absolutely. There's a few
with the
people.
Huskies.
Yeah, there's a few people
Okay.
other than those that I can utilize. I'm not going to name them obviously for copyright and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
legal things. But yeah, these are real stories that people
Yeah.
have told me.
Excellent, man. Okay, cool. Question number 2: will you ever stop hunting for the truth?
Never, never,
That's a
till the
good
day I
answer.
die.
All
Yeah.
right, Fox Mulder. That sounds great. Good job. Yeah. We need more guys like you out there, man. We need the truth. I don't know that, I don't want you to get hurt. Let me just first say
No,
I don't want you to get hurt.
no.
But I would love for you to be the one that captures one. Take some heavy tranquilizers with you, bro.
I need to,
Capture
right?
it alive. Yes.
Yeah,
Capture it alive.
Well, throw some Xanax
Hopefully you
at him
don't
or
run
something.
into. What's that?
Throw some Xanax
Xan-
at him or something, isn't it? You know.
I just saw 28 days later the
Mhm.
the bone I forgot the bone tower. And
Uh-huh.
there's there in the story, I'm not going to give it away. No spoilers, but
Mhm.
something very similar happens to where what we were just talking about, which is like trying to get one, very like giving it food and trying to get it nice and friendly.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
movie, there was something very similar to that. I thought, oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
It could happen.
It could happen, bro. I mean,
Mhm.
why not? Right. And
Yeah,
hopefully you
never
don't
say
run
never.
into any MIBs, because that
Oh, yeah, I
they're
hope not. Yeah.
talk about boner killers, bro. All right.
For
Number
sure.
3, sir. How do you want to die?
In my sleep.
Yes. That's all right. Me too.
In my sleep. I just want to go peacefully.
Everyone that's similar, like right here, we in the same mind, always
Yeah.
say that, and I love it.
I say
Okay.
that. I say that not to be morbid or sad, but I've seen
Right.
people die horrible deaths and take their last breath very violently, and
Yes.
I don't want to go out
No.
like that. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Second part of that question is, how do you think you'll die?
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully, natural causes. I would think
Okay.
natural causes would be okay.
That's a good one.
The
Hell yeah,
ripe old
dude.
age of shoot, man. If I live to be like 90, 92, I'll be all right. That's cool.
I don't know if I want to go that far, bro. 92, it's a long fucking way. I don't know.
It is, but for me, because me and my wife are expecting in March, and I still want to live a longer life because all my kids, the youngest kid that we have is 16, and then we're gonna have this baby, So I want to live a little bit longer to see my daughter grow up, and
Yeah.
so yeah, hopefully I live past the 80s to see her in her adulthood at least. You know what I mean? So
Well,
yeah.
congratulations on that, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
They are talking about, being able to extend human life in the next to like 2030 at some point. They might find a way to, you can be up to 130, 150 years old and still be in a 40-year-old kind of a body.
Oh, right on. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, that way I'll be around. But if I'm gonna be pooping my pants at 90, bro, I don't want to be hanging around.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
I don't want my kids or whoever cleaning up my piss. I don't want that.
No, I don't want. Yeah, that's not cool. Yeah.
All right, question number 4, Rod. What is the strangest paranormal experience you've ever had? And if you haven't had one, what is the strangest moment of your life?
So my grandmother used to read tarot for a living, and she had a specific room that we weren't really allowed to go into called the reading room, and she prayed to a lot of different idols. She believed in something called the 7 African powers, but it was all mixed up with Catholicism and stuff like that. And there was some things, in the house that just really were just, it was just an off feeling. And I remember, and I love my grandma so much. I remember going and taking a shower in my grandma's restroom because she was just everything neat and everything was clean and she had the best of everything. You know what I mean? So you wanted to be in her restroom because it was just immaculate, right? It was beautiful.
Nice.
And so I was taking a shower, and I think I must have been like 10 years old or 11 years old or something. And I distinctly remember hearing a conversation between two individuals, but it was in the drain. It was in the drain of the shower. And I
Holy
thought,
shit.
and I thought to myself, well, it's the water. It's got to be the water. And then
Yeah.
I moved the water out of the way, moved the shower head where it wasn't hitting anymore, and I could hear two individuals like, and it
What the
it it
hell?
freaked me out. And I told my grandma, I'm like, hey, grandma, I'm like, there was somebody talking in the drain, and she's like, no, mijo, it's probably just the water and whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm like, there's two people in the drain talking, and that's all I remember, which
Yeah.
was really weird. But the other part was, I remember me and my cousin going into the shed outside. It was a really nice
Uh,
shed, looked like a little tiny home, because we would go and search for my uncle's toys, because she saved all the toys, the GI Joes and things. So we would go in there and search for these toys.
okay.
And I remember coming across a big book, a big canvas covered book. It was plain and it was a light brown. And I opened it up. We started looking through it, and I distinctly remember a sequence of photos that make like a motion.
Mm-hmm.
Picture one, picture two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the sequence was, there was a man laying on this concrete floor, it looked like, on top of a pentagram with these candles around him, big pentagram, and his shirt was off. And this guy with this hooded individual, I couldn't see him, had his hands like this, and each picture was him moving his hand down over the man, ultimately pulling his heart out of his his
Whoa.
chest, pulling his heart out and holding it up. And that was the last picture. That was a book my grandmother had in the shed, and that really freaked me out. I'll never forget that as long as I live. So that wasn't really paranormal, but I think that pretty much
No, dude,
qualifies.
that qualifies.
Yeah.
She was into that?
Yeah, I mean, on any given day when I would go over to spend the night at my grandma's house, there would be somebody new that I'd never met, a new car in the
Dude, what
driveway.
the fuck?
And it was like, oh, hey, this is so and so. And they would come out of the reading room. And, as a kid, you just don't think about these things, because you don't think about
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
And these were all clients, where she would read the cards, and she would tell them their future or whatever, blah blah blah, and they would pay her. That's how she made a living, was reading
Wow.
cards. Yeah. And I think what came along with that was the paranormal activity. I think those things really go hand in hand, to be quite honest.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
I don't think you could have one or the other. When you start opening up that Pandora's box, there's a lot
Yeah.
of things that come with it that we don't know about. And so I think that's what I was experiencing in the home, so
That is crazy, bro. Let me just say this. You're gonna have to come back, and that whole episode is
yeah.
gonna have to be about your grandma. For real, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing stuff.
Have you seen my UFO videos?
No, I don't. I guess I didn't go far enough.
Scroll down more. I've got 3 videos
Uh-huh.
of UFOs that my wife and I had witnessed and documented. Within 9 months, we saw 3 UFOs. I don't know anybody that's had that happen to them.
Have
But
you had missing time?
oh man, there was the first one that we saw. It was a really weird occurrence. Afterwards, it was chaos broke out after. It wasn't missing time, but it was a really chaotic situation that happened right after we
Yeah.
saw it was a triangle that we saw. There was a light here, and a light here. It was coasting.
Mhm.
And we were leaving a restaurant out in Bulverde, and it was light. It was dark.
Yeah.
And what was it? The bar manager was there, and I was talking with them across the street with my wife and daughter, and they were like, look up, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then finally I looked up, and there was this triangle looking thing just coasting, and the bar manager looked up too, and he's like, hey bro, lights they don't move like that. They're not supposed to move like that. And I was like, whoa. So I videoed about 10-11 seconds of it, but everything that happened after that ensued was really odd. Like this crazy crash that should have been fatal happened right in front of us on 410 and Blanco. Just some weird things that just happened right afterwards. So
That is
I don't know.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Next question. Question number 5. What's the scariest or weirdest dream you've ever had?
What's the what?
The scariest or weirdest dream you've ever had?
Oh man. I had encountered these two entities that had they were really tall. I would say they would seem like they were 8 or 9 feet tall, and they had Asian faces, and they had
Holy shit.
really jagged teeth, sharp teeth, and they were speaking in a really weird language, but it was like a really like a gargly like type of low growly type of language. It was weird. And I remember seeing them and going up to them and putting my finger in their face and rebuking them in Jesus' name and telling them to leave. And every time I did it, they were just like cower and cower and cower. That was one of the
Hmm.
scariest ones I ever had. So
That's
yeah.
amazing, bro. Couple of
Yeah.
Wembies, Asian.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
were tall. It was dark hair down the shoulders, elongated necks, pale face, Asian face, very tall, wearing some type of long garb. It wasn't like a shirt and pair of pants. It was like a
Mhm.
long garb. It was really weird.
So to do a kind of a bookend to the movie we had
Mhm.
talked about earlier, which was oh my guys, the Steven Spielberg movie,
Mhm.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, yeah.
He has a movie coming out. He just dropped a trailer this past week called Disclosure. Have you seen the trailer?
No, I should look at
Okay.
it.
Look
Okay.
at it. There's a language that's being spoken by a human, like they're being taken over. She's
Mm-hmm.
like a meteorologist or something. She's
Mm-hmm.
on TV and she starts trying to talk, but then she loses her ability. And there's some sort of almost like guttural, low clicks
Yeah,
and things. Okay,
yeah,
so check it out.
yeah.
Tell me if it sounds similar to that, because that was kind of freaky when I heard
I've
it.
even had I've even had the scratches, the three thin the scratches on my body
Wow.
that were really odd. They were like they were crusted over from blood, but they burned really bad like fire. They burned
Hmm.
so bad. It was really crazy.
Wow.
So that's for another time. I'm.
That's awesome, bro. Jesus Christ. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you joining me, man.
of course.
And I love what you do. Don't stop. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait for the book.
Thank
Question
you.
number 6.
Yes.
Rod Nichols. Who the fuck do you think you are?
I'm me. I'm just me. I'm unapologetic. Um, I'm living life and trying to figure things out in the midst of all the craziness. So, yeah, just me.
All right, man. Yeah, I'm just me too. That's all I know how
Yeah,
to be is me. Right.
right on, dude. Yeah, right
All
on.
right, brother. Well, thank you again for joining me. Guys,
Thank
get
you.
out there, follow Rod. His Instagram handle is Bear County Bigfoot. Go
Yep,
look for it.
Instagram.
Check out this, yeah, on Instagram. Go check out the structures. The wood structures are amazing. He's got
Mhm.
some UFO videos on there. Go
Mhm.
follow Rod. Bear County
Thank you.
Bigfoot. It's spelled Bexar for bear. Okay. That's just how
Mm.
we do it in Texas. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Rod. Hey, listen,
Thank
guys.
you.
If it's interesting to you, then go down the rabbit hole.
There you
Later.
go. Later.
Special thank you to Rod Nichols, man. That was great, bro. Interesting stuff. Thank you so much. Guys, get out there, follow Rod. He is Bear County Bigfoot on Instagram. And check out the logo. You'll love it. Also, if you're not following me and this is the first you're hearing of me, I have a page on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, YouTube. It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. I am at this point, I don't know what day this is. I think this is like end of February, possibly March. But as of today, this is like February the 3rd as I'm recording this. And I am just under 900,000 followers on all platforms. So 604 on Instagram, 604,000. So if you're not following me, follow me, man. You're going to get some good stuff. It's daily. I'm talking 7 days a week. I got videos, I got posts, I got all sorts of stuff on there. Thank you so much for listening. Definitely give me a like. I can really use the likes, dude. That would help me out big time. Let's have a comment. Anything you want to comment on? Anything Bigfoot, Dogman? Have you seen Bigfoot? Have you seen Dogman? Please comment if you have. I would love to talk to you, by the way, if that's the case. And subscribe. It's free. It's so free. And subscribing helps big time. Just like likes and comments. All that stuff. If you do all three, that's a trifecta. They call that a hat trick. So if you do all three, thank you very much. Little thing I want to talk about today. It's real interesting to me. I was just talking to my sister who she wants to start her own podcast, and she's been talking about it for months and months and months now. She had a partner that was going to join her, but that bitch chickened out. And so now it's just her, but she's kind of a little timid, and I understand, because let me say that shout out to Amanda Goodwin. Amanda Goodwin, host of One Nothing podcast. We started talking because I really liked her podcast, and I was like, hey man, I just want to say great job. And she said, hey, I dig what you're doing, and I have an episode coming up that I think you'd be perfect for. It's a paranormal / true crime. And so I said, oh, yeah, I'll do that. I was already doing some guest hosting, not really guest host, but being a guest on podcasts. So I said, sure, let me do that. But this was a guest host kind of thing. And I was like, well, ill-equipped. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. She says it was a great episode. I was like, yo, I don't think so. I think I need to work on this. It wasn't long after that she asked me to co-host, and I said yes. But I was almost 100%, 90% for sure going to say no. I'm so glad I said yes, because now I'm doing this. And it was nice practice, building at something, working at something. And now I have my own podcast. I have another podcast that's a movie podcast. That's called The Real Verdict, REEL, The Real Verdict. It's all about movies. I'm the movie judge, and we have a good time talking about movies. And it's funny because my sister reminded me of the person I was before this. Because this person you're seeing right now, that you're listening to right now, I was a completely different person. As a matter of fact, my sister reminded me that I would actually make fun of people who did this stuff. And I remember I was thinking about this. That person would do that because he was afraid to do it himself. And it was more of a defense mechanism bullshit, talking shit about stuff he doesn't know anything about because he's never tried it and he's too afraid to try it. That's who that person was. My sister's in that spot right now. I think she's got a great idea for a podcast. It's going to be called Two Girls, One Trauma, which I think is a fantastic title. And I'm encouraging her to go and do it. Just dive in, man. Because, you got to do it. Life is short. You have to do the things you want to do in life. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, dude. For real. It's important to do those things that you want to do. I give a shout out to all my friends who are in podcasting. Nisha, Rachel, Heather, Kevin, Amanda, anyone who's ever got Tommy, Cullum, Andy Decodes. I mean, I have a ton of friends that do this. And I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of people on my podcast that are just awesome people. I got podcasts like Crime to Burn. I got Latinos Against Spooky Shit on my show, which was huge for me. I love that dude. He's hilarious. Jonathan's the best. I just think I think now about the person who was talking shit about podcasts and people who do it, and the person I am now. And I like the person I am now better than that person. By a goddamn mile. So get out there and do what you got to do, what you want to do. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't let your mind stop you, because that's what was doing. That's what was stopping me. That's what's stopping my sister right now. And I hope she gets through it and dives right in. All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's the show. I will see you next time.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
They said the truth was buried deep in files they tried to burn. David's on the mic now, it's the people's turn. From shadow men in black to creatures in the mist, he's cracking open secrets that the government dismissed. Spooky lights above us, he's tracking every blink. Aliens, cryptids, yeah, he's making you think. With a journal full of clues and a wild-eyed hunch, he's talking ghost towns, lost time, Bigfoot's lunch. Old Dayvid don't know, but he's looking for the code on a long dark road where the weird ones go. Mics stay hot when the stories unfold, digging through the static for the truth untold. From pyramids on Mars to sounds in the night, he's chasing after whispers just beyond the light. Tinfoil hat, nah, it's a crown for the bold.